Yo, it's your boy Skinny from the 9, Big Skinny, not the mini. Like, subscribe, share, comment, turn on post notifications on so y'all can see when I drop a new video, because my views is low and I need my views up. So run it up for me. Come on. King Yella says that none of the BDs in Chicago gonna stop NBA Youngboy from doing a show in Chicago. If y'all don't know, NBA Youngboy just announced a tour. One of the stops being Chicago. He got EBKJ was one of the openers. King Yella said that, you know, Lil Durk is in jail. So that was y'all money, right? To do something to NBA Youngboy, one, you're going to need money, right? You're going to need guns. You're going to need a lot of them. You're going to need an inside source, okay? You got to get there and you got to know where he's coming from and where he's coming out of, okay? You need a sniper on the roof. You're going to need a driver that's going to be able to follow y'all. You're going to need an inside source, okay? Then y'all going to need to find an escape plan, right? Then y'all going to need to be able to post up right there when you see him and let it off. Then you need a driver who's going to be there with y'all when y'all know that he does it, and then boom, okay? It's going to be impossible, right? NBA Youngboy knows he has smoke in Chicago, right? He's not going to go out there lacking. He going to go over there with 100 shooters, right? 10 black trucks, all bulletproof, right? He going to have undercover police, and there's nothing wrong with that. That's not me throwing a short. People get undercover police all the time. Undercover police is good because let's say you're let's say you ain't the aggressor in the situation. Let's say, for instance, somebody lets off at NBA Youngboy. You got that undercover cop with you. That undercover cop is going to be able to testify in court that my client, right, and a sworn statement from a police officer is always gold, right? A sworn statement from a police officer, you're going to be fine every time. So it's like a statement from a police officer. You got undercover cops with me. Yeah, my client was acting in self-defense. They didn't do nothing wrong. That guy did something at a pure act of violence, right? So boom. So he going to have undercover cops with him. Right? He gonna have security, military trained. Not to mention he gonna have all his homies with him, and it's gonna be impossible, bro. Like for people with no money, no funding, y'all not gonna be able to get next to him. Like it's literally gonna be impossible, right? It's gonna be impossible. You will need an inside source. You will need somebody playing both sides. That's the closest you'll be able to get to him. If somebody were to backdoor him, that's the closest thing. Like, hey, young boy over here. We staying in this hotel, blah, 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 blah. He probably not even going to stay in Chicago, right? He probably going to stay in the outskirts because he's not dumb. Or, you know, he might let his nuts hang because at the end of the day, you ain't going to be able to do nothing. He going to be too deep, bro. There's strength in numbers and you're not going to be able to do nothing to him, bro. And, you know, it's funny how life comes full circle. You know, NBA Youngboy and Lil Durk have had a feud for the longest, bro. And then when King Von got popping, you know, King Von got in the middle of it. And, you know, there was always this debate on who was the better rapper or, you know, who would stand the test of time. And, you know, I feel like Youngboy won. You know, sad to say it, bro. They killed Von, right? They killed Von, unalived Von. You know, nothing happened to the killer. Right, Lil Tim got self-defense, right? You know, Durk tried to slide, but you know, you hit his cousin, and you know his cousin ain't really have nothing to do with it. You was really supposed to get Tim, right? But like I understand street politics. We don't get you, we get the people closest to you. Blah 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 blah. Y'all was really supposed to get Tim. It didn't work out, and then bro, you went to jail. Now you looking at life, bro. Murder for hire. So it's like. Youngboy about to like make a statement, right? Like, I killed y'all hero, and I came in y'all city and performed, and ain't shit happened to me, you know? And I know Lil Durk in jail right now turning, bro, because like even his people, y'all going outside like OTF duty low. Like right now, NBA Youngboy has an immaculate background. Like you can't stop him, and you know I feel like. And you know what? I don't really know too much about the beef. You know, me and Youngboy had beef back in the day. But like Youngboy's character and Youngboy's like just his whole come up, it's always been him versus the industry. And like, you know, I feel like the hate or the opposition, the enemies that Youngboy probably created for himself, I feel like they were deserved. You know, I feel like Youngboy woke up and he realized all you niggas fake. You know, everybody's fake. You know, y'all not really my friends. There ain't no loyalty in this. And Youngboy decided to make enemies. Like, man, I don't care about none of y'all. And you know, and when he does this show in Chicago and he has a successful tour, that's gonna have proved it. That's gonna have proved it all, bro. And I just feel like Youngboy deserves it. And I feel like Youngboy deserves it. I feel like Youngboy never really did nothing to nobody. I feel like I said, I feel like he just opened his eyes and he realized that the game was fake. And since the game is fake, I'm gonna expose, and I'm not making friends, and I'm gonna do me, and I don't care who it offend. And I see y'all later. And I feel like Dirk is mad. I feel like Dirk knows that he lost. If this was a war, you lost, bro. You probably, each side won a few battles, but when it comes down to it, Youngboy won the war, right? And we gonna see what happens on this tour. But I think King Yella was right. I don't see nothing happening to Youngboy. It's just a lot of people talking what they gonna do. Y'all don't got no money. Y'all gotta. Can y'all even afford the ticket? You feel me? Like, can y'all afford the ticket? And then it's like, is y'all really about to throw away y'all lives, bro? After y'all just seen what happened to Dirk? Like, Dirk, that's y'all hero, right? That's y'all spokesman for this shit. Y'all seen what just happened to him. Who's gonna be dumb enough? Even the stuff with FBG Duck, RIP FBG Duck, like, those people didn't get away with it. They went to jail. The only person in this whole entire beef who did something and got away with it was NBA Youngboy side, nigga. Quando Rondo and Lil Tim. The O Block 5, jail. Lil Durk, jail. Who else? A few other guys, jail. Like, that's karma. God was not on y'all side, bro. God don't like no ugly. God always gonna know the truth. God gonna know who deserves what. I'm not saying anybody deserves death. I'm not saying anybody deserves jail. I just feel like God knows what's really going on. And God always gonna reward the ones who deserve it. So, you can front on your music videos and act like you this real nigga. You can front in these lyrics and, on the gram. But God always gonna know the truth, bro. Shout out Youngboy. We had our little differences back in the day over Alex and Mariah Lynn, but that shit was out of proportion. I probably should have just kept that on the DL. I should have kept that between us, but I like NBA Youngboy's music, and I feel like Youngboy deserves everything he got coming his way, man. And I hope one day we can be able to patch things up. Shout out Youngboy. Like, subscribe, share, comment. Let me know what y'all think in the comments. You think NBA Youngboy gonna be able to do a show in Chicago? You think he'll come out unscathed? What you think, Lil Durk? How you think Lil Durk feel right now? Let me know in the comments, man. It's your boy Skinny. Peace.